Oh yeah. What up, 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 and some more what ups and what up and what up and what up again and again and again and what up, what up, what up, what up, what up. What's going on, America? Because I left y'all with no word ups and no what ups last week because I was depressed. I was going through. All right. My Cowboys let me down in Arizona. But I'm back. I got over it. I'm ready now. You know what I'm saying? So we here, Brooklyn Beers and Ball Sports Show. Y'all know what we do. We back season 2. It's fire. NFL season. We're getting ready to talk about week 4. We got the NBA trades we're going to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about Deion. We're going to talk about the Niners, the Cowboys, boxing. We got it all for y'all today, all right? And we about to make it happen. But before we get into this show, I need y'all to like. I need y'all to share. Smash them like buttons. Do the things you need to do. Support the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube channels. All right. We need y'all in the building. We appreciate all the support, guys. We really do. It's your boy Rod. It's your boy Don. Hey, what's going on, Big D? What you got for us, bro?
Oh, man. Good sports weekend, man. We got some exciting games. We got some boxing. Yeah. We got the big Lillard trade. Is it really going to make an impact in the East?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Without further ado, man, let's get into it. As mentioned, this is a huge sports weekend. We got a lot of exciting stuff. But let's start off with USC Colorado. This could be okay. So Colorado got off to a very good start. Exciting, 3-0. Last week they faced Oregon. Oregon put on a clinic. They were able to pretty much shut them down.
Right.
It was embarrassing. I think they at one point were losing 35-0 at halftime. Ultimately, It got to the point where they lost 42-6. Deion's team, of course, they're missing out on Travis Hunter. A huge loss. He plays both sides of the football.
No doubt.
And then come to find out later in the week, which it wasn't disclosed immediately, his other son got hit. And I don't know, he doesn't have a lacerated liver or anything, but I think he had to go, he was hospitalized for momentarily. They had to check on him, something to the effect where he was urinating blood. So it was a impact hit that hurt him. So I don't know if he's playing this weekend.
Yeah.
But the two games that were going to be circled on the calendar was Oregon last week and USC. Now, Deion's Colorado Buffaloes were a 21-point underdog last week. And of course, they lost 42-6. So I think it was a sobering moment. It had to be a sobering moment for them. Deion has not made, any excuses. He had mentioned that his team was a few quote unquote dogs away from being that team that could really make impact and challenge to be, in the national championship and be in that playoff contention. Excuse me. But since that didn't happen and Oregon really put on a beating, I think this USC game, which USC, they have Caleb Williams, arguably the number 1 draft pick next year. I think it's going to be interesting. It's a little weird that it's only a 21.5 point favorite. They're favored by 21.5 points.
Wow.
But what do you think about the whole Oregon? Do you think that Deion, how do you think the team should approach this game based on the fact that they lost so bad last time?
I think they're going to come in and just be who they are. And I think that's the thing with Deion. We talked about this in the last show, and my position has been with Deion is that he is who he is by way of being consistent, right? He's not going to. Deion understood that they had to eat some humble pie last week, right? They got obliterated. There's nothing he can say. He didn't make any excuses, at least from what I saw, the pressers and clips and different things that I saw in regards to his retort to the game. But there was nothing that, it's humble pie, but it's not going to necessarily change Deion and his approach to the game. He's still going to inspire his team. He's still going to let them know, hey, this is another challenge for us. that we're going to need to overcome. They all want us to see, they want to see us fail. And so we're going to go out there and we're going to show who we are and do the best that we can do. Now, they are clearly overmatched again this week, all right, when you talk about Caleb Williams and USC, and now like you took to what you brought out just a moment ago with Shiloh's injury, and so that's you, because that defense is bad already. The secondary is horrible, so now without him, it's even worse. So they're overmatched, no question about it. But I think Deion is basically going to come out and still be like, hey, we're going to have to put up something. We're going to have to do something. We're going to have to show some type of heart and some type of fight, which they didn't show clearly last week. But, you know, you would think they'll show something a little bit better this week. I don't think they're going to win this game, but I do think they'll put up maybe a little better showing as best as they could. But having Hunter down, no Shiloh, it's hard. I'm not going to lie. Injuries, and they're not a good defensive team already. So it's a lot to overcome. But again, I think Deion is looking at, I'll just insert this real quick. I know it's a little side from the game today, but I just think when we look at Colorado, we have to be careful not to assess them game by game, because this is not the team. This is not the full complementary of players, not aside from the injuries. But when Deion gets his full year again, and you go through the portal and recruiting guys and going through all the things he's going to go through, that team is going to be the team next year that we're going to have to now start measuring game by game where they stack up in their conference and what they will look like as a truly good ranked team. Right now, I think he surpassed all expectations. And if I'm Colorado, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to come out there and hang it all out, because I think Colorado's already surpassed everybody's expectations. And to Deion's point, they were coming, and I think that they're here. So I think we got to look at this in totality in terms of what Deion is building at this program while he's still here, and not one game at a time. They're going to get obliterated by these better teams that are already established. No question about it.
So I understand what you're saying, but do you think that should have been the approach of Deion? I know his personality aside, do you think instead of saying, I'm coming, I'm here, you know, I ain't hard to find, do you think that he should have been more humble as it pertains to the development of the team? Anytime, any team, I think they had 72 different players that went through the portal or new players. Establishing chemistry is already going to be a challenge. Then, I don't know, what's up with my throat. And a team that has already, I mean, they won one game last year. So you already had a uphill climb. Why not just take the approach of, hey, we're going to work and get better? And I know it goes against his personality to do that, because he's bold, braggadocious. He's that type of person. But now the toothpaste is out of the tube as it pertains to, you know, maybe next year, this isn't the full complement. He should have approached that this ain't the full complement coming into it. Now with the expectations that, yo, we're here and we're doing X, Y, Z, and you don't do it, or you underwhelm, or you don't perform to the level of your talk, right? Because he's writing checks that the Colorado players have to cash, not him. He's a Hall of Famer. Nothing you can say about what he's done in a sense of being able to talk the talk and walk the walk, but those players haven't. So now that adversity is here, and they were slapped in the face last week by adversity, now humble is the way. How about just saying, you know what? The humble approach he took after the fact, which is to me, fake humility. You were humbled. You didn't humble yourself. You were made to be humbled. And so I just look at it from a standpoint that, do I doubt that team is going to be great? Absolutely not. Do I think that they have accomplished, but you're not basing it off of the fact that we only won one game. Because if that's the case, you win two games, it's like, whoa, look, we only won one game last year. You came in with all the fanfare and all of the, yo, we're here, and you told the other players that were playing terrible last year, pack your bags, you're out of here. So then when you get slapped 42-6, you can't then say, hey, this is the best. It seemed like it doesn't match up. Oh, this is the best time to get me. You knew that going into it, that this team was not to the point where you could envision it. And that's the only problem I have with it.
I mean, I agree with you in theory in what you're saying in terms of the approach that Deion should take, right? Ideally, that's what you want to do. Anytime you're in a competitive atmosphere or an environment, right? You want to go in confident, but you also want to be realistic about what you have and what you're working with and come in humble, respecting your opponents. But here's the thing. You can flip it the other way too, right? Colorado can't be any worse than what they were last year, right? So to be like, we're just working this out. We're going to, the minute Deion walked in that locker room, that team got better, right? Because that team could not be any worse than what they were. So you can't even build it from that perspective, to me, in my mind, to say, well, we're kind of working, we're going to get better. Like this, they beat a team that was in the national championship last year to open up the season, right? That last year's Colorado team would have gotten obliterated in that game, all right? So the truth is this, Deion, my thing that I'm looking at for Deion is that as long as he's not making any excuses, right? And again, I haven't heard excuses. Now, he'll eat his humble pie. And like you said, if you're going to get me now, because that's his way of saying that this thing ain't done yet. We still got more to do.
That's an excuse.
But no, it's not. I don't look at it so much as an excuse, like an excuse. In other words, he didn't say we lost because Hunter was out, or we lost because, this didn't happen, or y'all didn't do this, or y'all did that, or whatever the case may be. Deion didn't say, I didn't hear anything that I would consider to be an excuse per se that we would hear most people come up with when they lose a game, right? I don't think that was really an excuse. I think really what it was that Deion knows good in his heart that his team is not the best team in his conference. He knows he's going to lose some games and they're going to get humiliated. But what he's got to do is still I don't think that's still a reason for him to still undermine the potential and even the ability to still win some games and be ranked like they are and to even play in the playoffs, hopefully at some point, if that happens this year, right? Because, again, Colorado was bad. And to Deion's credit, what coach do you know with the cachet, who really didn't even have a cachet, right, per se, in college football at a D1 level, to take over a team like Colorado, nevertheless, and make this team believe in themselves and play to the degree that they can go into any game and win? No coach is doing it. Nick Saban is retired. I don't care what nobody say. He's retiring. You know why he's retiring? Because Nick Saban knows that the way this system is today, it doesn't benefit him. And he doesn't want to be sitting as a coach for a losing team, a losing program. It's not him. He can't eat. Talk about humility. Let Nick Saban eat some humble pie, because he don't eat nothing. When Alabama loses, he complains. It's the system. They let this happen. They do that. My guys, they couldn't get this. Da. Like he ain't trying to hear nothing. If Nick Saban ain't winning, he is going to pout and be a petulant child in those post conferences. But again, Deion does it, and everybody expects Deion to be, well, Deion, you need to eat more humble pie and be. But nobody's humble. Look at their coach. All Deion doing is bringing out what other people really feel in their heart. You saw what last week's coach did and all this, where they playing for clicks and likes and all this stuff. He probably never gave a speech like that in his life. Never gave a motivational speech, right? But so what Deion is doing is psychologically, he's getting into these coaches' heads. He's getting into other programs' heads, got them coming out of character, got them coming off their position, because of the fact is that they are so bent on trying to beat this man. And in the end of the day, like, USC is a better team, and they're going to beat Colorado today, right? But if USC feels that they need to do something a little bit different just to prove a point, then in essence, Deion is winning. So next year, you're going to see a whole nother team, and he's going to be on that level like every other team, because now he's going to have his full complementary of players that he's recruited, guys coming through the portal, because they're going to play for Deion. And he's going to get he's going to get the best talent that other teams have been getting. And that's how they benefit. College basketball, football and basketball, it's all about who you can get. It's not like a draft where in the NFL or NBA where you only get who lands to you. You know what I'm saying? You are the available player, the best player available on the board, because somebody other can get that player. But the college football guys, through their own will and volition, will decide where they want to go. And they're going to go to Colorado. So like I said, I don't think Deion's making excuses. I'm not saying he should be totally like, no, my thing is this. As long as he's not making excuses, D, that's for me. He could be braggadocious to have all that bravado. That's what Deion does. But until Deion loses at a level with excruciating pain, The
It
man can
was.
say what he wants.
Last week was
but I'm talking
last
about
week
at
was
levels though.
excruciating.
Well, but that was a game. But I'm saying he's still successful at the level. Like, can you honestly say? My question to you is Deion successful right now as a head coach in college football at the D1 level? In the 3 games we've seen, or 4 games we've seen already, okay? I mean,
I say yes and I say no.
Why you say no?
Yes, because he was able to bring, all of this attention to a program. He has been like the most polarizing coach since he stepped foot in Colorado.
Has he lived up to it though?
He has, but that's because he's had, marginal competition up until it's not. Listen,
but that
beating
team was
up
more
on
than 11 last year. They were marginal themselves.
but we're not basing it. Deion's approach is not based on a 1-11 team. You mentioned it. Once Deion got there, they were going. Once you bought Travis Hunter, you were going to win more than one game.
But that's my point, right?
Yeah, but that's not success. That's not.
How do you measure success unless you have a barometer by which you measure it from what was done already, right? I mean, if somebody walks into a winning program or takes over a winning team, when Barry Switzer took over the Cowboys, nobody gave Barry Switzer no credit because he didn't build that team.
Cowboys,
but I'm saying, but he didn't take a bad team like Jimmy Johnson took a 1-15 team and made them Super Bowl champions within 5 years. That's not. Or you look at Dan Campbell with Detroit. These are guys that took putrid programs and teams and built a winning culture. You gotta admit that Deion did it at Jackson State, and he's doing it in Colorado right now. Yes, they got their brains beat out of them last week, but no one is looking at that. I don't believe in the totality of what Deion has already brought and what he's going to bring. So that's the measure of success.
So is your measure of success based on bottom feeders in your division, in your league, or the cream of the crop?
It's based on you taking a bottom feeder team like Colorado was, and now actually giving them merit and making them more credible as an opponent. And that's what he's done. Can we not say he's done that?
That's far, success. They're 3-1. They're 3-1. What up, Scrap? Thanks for joining us today, man. Appreciate it. You knew it was going to be something, Dallas factoid that he was going to pull up. But
hey, so I gotta use success to make my point of a success. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
I'll say this. I do have a theory. Now, I did text you this last week. I do have a theory on this Colorado game that's going to kick off in about 20 minutes. I do. Now, Colorado was blown out by Oregon, 21 point underdogs, and they lived up to it. They lost 42-6. I did text Rod this game against USC, who is a better team than Oregon, 21.5 points. And so I text Rod that wouldn't it be something if Colorado actually beat USC? Because USC's defense is not great. Their offense, they average 55 points, but their offense, Caleb, he balls out. They got great receivers. I think their defense is their Achilles heel. So this is my conspiracy theory of the week. Colorado, the USC is not able to cover that spread. They lose. Colorado doesn't win because I'm going to change it. They lost Shiloh. I thought that was, their defense is already questionable without Travis Hunter, and now to lose Shiloh. I think USC will not win by over 21.5 points or 22 points. So I like Colorado and the under. The over-under is 73 points. I think it's going to go under. I think it's going to be a lot of stalled drives where they either kick field goals or they're not able to punch it in. And I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado doesn't jump out on a lead. They have a lead. USC has not trailed the entire season so far. They haven't trailed. So I would not be surprised if Colorado jumps on them early and USC has to catch up and ultimately overtake them. So I like Colorado plus 21.5 and the under 73. Those are my picks. But I think everybody, because Oregon blew them out, is jumping on USC, a better team. Certainly they should blow them out too. And I don't think that's going to be the case. What do you say?
Wow, that is interesting, bro. That is interesting. Shout out to Be Good when we see you, bro. Godwin, rather. My bad. Listen, I mean, that's you going out on the stretch. Y'all know.
Well, you said Nick Saban is retiring, so we dropping.
Well, but that's you know what? That's evident. We can see the writing on the wall with old crybaby Saban. We can see it. We can see it. Trust me, he's going. He's leaving. And don't let them even get in the playoffs this year. As bad as that team is in their quarterback play and everything else. Listen,
well, it's the quarterback play. I think. I don't think Alabama. I don't think Nick Saban is ready to retire yet. I don't. I don't think he's ready to retire. He has enough boosters that got bread, that don't mind paying. And you know, that's why I think certain teams, Texas, Alabama, those people that have LSU, that have, you know, boosters that don't mind paying, and now NIL is opening the door that they can pay for the best players. I don't see him retiring.
I will say this, and listening to what you're saying, what's coming to my mind real quick with all of this is basically that when you talk about Alabama now, what their recruiting is going to look like, now that you got NIL and everything like that, the portals and different things, players may still go to Alabama because now they have an opportunity to play. Because now they're not going to have to be, you know,
right,
a four-star recruit, but they still got to ride the bench.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Alabama's so deep with talent. So most guys didn't even get a chance to get burned until their junior year for the most part, or they had to wait a year and then wait till their sophomore year. So there's going to be some more opportunity for guys to play as freshmen and really make an impact. So you may have some there, but I still think old Crybaby is going to go out. That's it. But no, D, so what are you saying? You're Don Spirits. You're saying that USC is going to lose? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I had initially thought USC would lose, but I will temper my expectations to they definitely won't beat them by over 21 points.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's going to be a closer game.
It's
going to be a closer game. And I think that Colorado may jump out on a lead on USC, and they have to kind of crawl their way back and ultimately come back and win.
And that's still going to be a victory for your boy. It's still going to be a victory for your boy.
Well, this is more about
more
about Vegas's tentacles being on the situation than it is about Deion.
I agree.
In my opinion.
No. Well, that's what Don Conspiracy is all about.
Yeah, right? It's a zigzag kind of theory. It's a zigzag when everybody is saying, "Oh, it's a foregone conclusion because." You know, 1 + 1 is 2. USC is better than Oregon. Oregon was able to blow them out. Then certainly USC, with the best quarterback, arguably in the country, should be able to blow them out. And that might not be the case.
Facts.
But let's move on because we had a huge trade in the NBA. Dame Lillard, he wanted to go to Miami. He told them his preferred team was Miami.
Yeah.
And Portland did what was in their best interest.
Good for them.
They traded him in a 3-team trade to where did he go?
Who, Dame Lillard? He went to Milwaukee.
Yeah. Milwaukee, excuse me. I don't know why I got a brain fart. So he went to, I'm like, where did he go?
That 49er hat is too tight. That's what the problem is.
It might be. Yeah. It might be. So he goes to Milwaukee. Now, quickly, I just want to catch everybody up. We called it months and months ago. Dame Lillard was full of it. Hey, listen, he was knocking teams and knocking players that were forming and creating quote unquote super teams. He was true to the game, and I love Portland, and I'm here, and I'm not going to be like those other players that join up. That's first. Then we go to Giannis. They just a year ago, he had a commercial, loyalty. That's one of the most important things, loyalty, and I'm going to be loyal to the Bucks. But yet you give the Bucks an ultimatum. If I don't see, I'm not going to sign my extension, which he could have signed it already. I'm not going to sign my extension because I want to see what the Bucks are going to do. How committed are they to winning? And if I see that they're not winning or they don't want to win, then I may have to go where winning is a priority, putting pressure on them. As a result, they shipped out Drew Holiday, which I thought was a very pivotal piece to their championship run and just the consistency of their team. Now, I'll give this trade, Dame Lillard is a great player. I'll give this trade a B. It's not a slam dunk that they're going to go all the way because they lose something on defense. Yes, they gained scoring, but I don't think scoring was the issue. Milwaukee has had the best record in the East consistently and even in the league. So scoring, when you arguably have the best player in the league, that's not a problem. Defensively, you lost some glue guys. You lost Grayson Allen. And I think the team that got better in this trade actually was the Suns. The Suns, because that was part of the problem. They already had scoring firepower, but you get a dirty player like Grayson Allen. You get some other glue guys. You get Nurkic rather. That's a big, because DeAndre Ayton, I don't know what he was about. They got rid of him. Yeah. Got DeAndre Ayton out of there. I think, he may do, because the pressure's not there. They're not on any championship trajectory. He's going to get the touches, but I don't think that really benefits them. It doesn't move the needle. Now, it does make the team. Now, Milwaukee, I would say, other than Boston, is the team to beat. And so I think the team to beat would, like those two. I don't know what the 76ers. This is going to be the last year with Joel Embiid in the 76ers. The process has failed. Once, I think Joel Embiid is going to look to get out of there. And he may look to go to New York, a different market, because clearly with Harden not being happy, Joel Embiid looking at other teams getting better around him, I think it's just a matter of time before he wants out. What do you say?
No, I totally agree with you there. And I think you hit on the head. I think, look, Milwaukee had to make this trade simply because Giannis put them under pressure. Okay. He was going to request the trade. They can't take an opportunity to look at what this season could unfold and become and then end up losing Giannis, right? They can't have that. That's just not something they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the whole situation, like you say, offensively, they get better. Now, you still got Lopez. Obviously, you got Giannis. You got Portis. You got guys that can still play defense. You lost your wing defender in Drew Holiday. So that's huge, okay? Middleton is not that second man anymore. He done lost a step. His health, he's had a lot of health issues in the last few seasons. So you got to take this trade. You got to do what you got to do. First of all, let me make another correction, too. Dame Lillard is not great. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna say that he's not great. He is a superstar. Okay, and we will have to, and all year long, I'm gonna have to continue to re-educate my co-host Dom on the difference between great, superstar, star, and good. Okay, we're gonna have to go through that again. Dame Lillard is a superstar, but he's not great. Okay, great is LeBron. That's not great. Dame is not great. He's a superstar. Now, will he make a difference in Milwaukee? I think he will. That clearly sets them up and above. I won't say above, but it sets them up to definitely be a better and a more worthy contender in the East, because I still think if Boston could ever get where you got Brown and Tatum actually playing at the levels that they need to play with consistency, then that will obviously they'll have something to say about it, right? And, Miami, I don't know what to tell you, but, they're going to just, Miami could just still show up in the finals because of the We Try Harder award, right? Because that's just what they do, all right? That's just what they do. With Middleton slipping Bucks, they needed that, Christopher. You're right. They needed a bona fide closer, and that is Dame. And here's the key. Defensively, they're compromised some, but I don't think to that degree. I don't think it's to the degree that everybody's saying, right? I mean, again, there's still a good defensive team interior-wise. Lopez can still, even though Lopez is long in the tooth a bit, but he's still a good defender. You still got big bodies. Now, you're going to have to clear some space around for Lillard. The way they're going to have to play their pick and rolls, they're still going to have to get some kind of spacing that's still there. They still may want to add another shooter on their roster to also, again, create that space. But my whole thing is that with Dame being the scorer that he is, you got to take them scores. You got to take them points over the defense. And I think the trade-off there is worth it, because being a good defensive team like Miami was, right? There's a lot of good good defensive teams that are really good, but you're going to at some point need that offense. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Yeah.
I'll
New
say
York
this. I think shout outs to Pastor Chris for joining us. And
thank you, Pastor Chris. Blessings,
I will say this.
Thanks,
I don't think, Dame should have left 4 years ago, but he was in denial 4 years ago, saying how good and how he was happy in Portland, that championships and ring chasing wasn't important or high on his priority list. I'll say this. You take the points if that was a deficiency. That wasn't a deficiency. I think defense.
You don't think it was? You don't think Milwaukee had scoring issues in critical times and in moments?
When Middleton got injured, yes, you're missing 20-something points, but you kept Middleton. So I don't understand. It wasn't like you traded away Middleton.
He's under contract, and then you can't trade him. I mean, he has no worth being an injured player now. Middleton is done. Like, when I say done, I mean, in other words, he's not an asset. You have to package him in an asset. You have to package him. It's part of a deal because he's an asset that's compromised because his injury history.
So do you think Milwaukee is the team to beat in the East, basically? Because if it didn't move, because they already had the best record.
Yeah. You don't think so?
You think over Boston?
Yeah, I do, because Boston, with the plethora of evidence that we see with Boston year after year, multiple conference finals appearances in the finals, Tatum and Brown, they can't get on the same page when it comes time to rise to the occasion. Brown was trash last year, in the playoffs, and then Tatum got hurt. They would have probably won that game 7 if Tatum didn't get hurt so early with 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever it was into the game. But they just, for some reason, those two can't get on the same page and play at the great level that you expect those guys to play at, like Clay and Steph did in the early parts of their championship runs. And then, of course, they had the, Fugazi KD with them. So they was able to win. They had guys that was able to step up and play. I just thought I'd slip that in there. Y'all know, America, I'm not a KD fan. Anyway, I'm not. And you keep watching our show. And I will give you some real concrete evidence why you shouldn't be a KD fan either.
It's without cause either. But I will say this.
It's plenty of cause. But go ahead. I do think they're the team to beat.
Embiid has already put them on notice. Unless they surround him, he is wasting. The process has been wasted. He is wasting time there. They have, Tyrese Maxey is a great player.
Kristaps is in Boston too. My bad.
Right.
What you call it? Just said that. I forgot. What you call it? Just said that
so Boston, they lose Smart, but I don't think Smart was. People give Smart. I know he's Defensive Player of the Year a couple of years ago, and I know people give him credit for being such a important and pivotal piece, but they didn't win anything. So what did he really bring to the table? I know he was an emotional player. He wasn't a great guard. I guess he hung his hat on defense, but scoring wise, he didn't really move the needle, maybe defensively, but they're a defensively strong team between Jaylen Brown, Tatum, some of the other players, Robert Williams. Mm-hmm. They have, a good defensive team. So it wasn't like he was head and shoulders above and made a huge difference. It's not like them getting Kawhi Leonard in his prime. Like it, I don't think.
But what did you see in Boston, right? With them giving up Smart and getting Kristaps past Porzingis in there, and you see the same thing with Milwaukee, letting go of Drew Holiday to get
you need a big three.
You're saying you need offense, and the only way you can count on good defensive teams like Miami, like they were, right, and other good defensive teams that are in the league. You're going to have to get some up. Sometimes the only way to answer to offense is better. I mean, to defense is better offense. You hear Mark Jackson always say, "Good defense, but better offense." Right? I mean, I don't think defense, as great as it is, can stop a player like Dame Lillard. Like, I don't care what defense you have, you're not stopping Dame Lillard from scoring. It doesn't matter.
Okay, no, I agree with that. With that.
Right.
So what it's going to do is Chris Middleton is going to become a Bosch now. He's going to become almost but
that's okay. What do you want him to be? He can't be anything more than what he is now. He's not that dude.
Well, let me tell you, they would have not won the championship if it wasn't for Middleton. Middleton was a clutch player down the stretch when they. You doubt this?
No, what
Look
I'm
at their
saying is that
championship run.
no, I agree with you. He was critical, but again, D, what have you done for me lately? That championship feels like 20 years ago now. Why do you think Embiid is saying? I mean, not Embiid. Giannis is saying either this team gets better or I'm not re-signing. What is he? He don't care about that championship they won 2 years ago. That championship means nothing. What does that championship mean? Chris Middleton, thank you. We appreciate that, but we got to stay afloat. We got to stay competitive. We try to win multiple championships. Middleton, you're hurt. You're not that dude anymore. So we need a Dame Lillard. So now he becomes a Chris Bosh, and Bosh was very good in Miami and did a lot of good things in Miami and had some decent scoring games, but he played defense. He got rebound. If it's not for that rebound, right, then he kicked back out to Ray Allen. They don't win that championship against San Antonio. So listen, Middleton is a good player still. No, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a good player, but he's not that player that he was from years back. Okay, when he was when they won the championship. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
He's
so
20 years old playing on Twitter.
So my question is this: if you think that head and shoulders, Milwaukee is the team to beat in the East, do you think, and you're calling it now, that they'll come out of the East? Who do you have coming out of the West? Well, this is probably a waste of a sentence for me.
It's a waste of a sentence. It's my Lakers coming out. My Lakers is coming out of the West.
Because you just said offense, teams are gearing up for offense, right? To be more offensively
overcome
strong.
Defensive teams. Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, do you think if the Warriors sign a big man, I think Dwight Howard possibly, or based on the acquisitions of the Suns, who have 3 25, 30, 40-point scorers on their team, do you think that offensively anybody in the West can touch the Suns now? I think the Suns got exponentially better. I think they have some of the deficiencies. I think that new owner is hungry. He wants to win, and he wants to win now. He doesn't care about luxury tax.
They still don't have no defense, though. But what defense they have? They still ain't got no.
You just said scoring.
No, but I'm saying, but you got to keep a measure of defense. I'm not saying
Milwaukee's defensive efficiency was super high, and you said that they were able to give away Drew Holiday because that wasn't important because they wanted Dame Lillard scoring.
Right. But what I'm saying is that level, but they're still going to be a very respectable defensive team. Yes, losing Drew Holiday, like Boston losing Marcus Smart, that's not a huge, but it's a significant drop off defensively. But you still but they needed scoring. You understand what I'm saying? But what you call it can't stop. Phoenix is not going to be able to stop nobody. Who are they going to stop? They can score. You got Booker, you got KD, you're gonna have you got your boy from Washington that's in there now, Bradley Beal. They're gonna have a lot of people scoring, but them dudes can't play no defense. You're still gonna need to get some stops when in the playoffs. Remember, you're building a team for the playoffs, not regular season, right? So the team in the playoffs that you're building for, when you got to play a team, the best out of 7, you got to grind, because after game 4, adjustments is over. It's going to be your guy against my guy or whatever it is. But at some degree, the culture of your team, as far as defensively, it's about getting stops. And you're going to need to get stops to win championships. And I don't see Phoenix getting any stops. And Jerkic, who they brought over, nice player, but he ain't defending nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. You're going to go down to it. So don't let one of those guys get hurt or whatever the case. I'm not hoping that on them, but I'm just saying, because injuries, like you
always trying to slip that in.
No, I'm not trying to slip it in. I'm just saying. But listen, what you call it guy had a question there. I want to get your thoughts on that too. Because Godwin said, is Lillard Thompson level good or Curry level good? You know what I'm saying? And honestly,
I would say more Thompson. He's not Curry. I think
he's not Curry, but he may not even be Thompson either.
He's not
player,
Thompson.
He can't
scoring wise, he's Thompson, but he's not a two-way player. So Lillard, what you gain on offense, you definitely lose defensively. Now, I would rather have a 15-point scorer and a lockdown defender than a 30-point scorer that you can blow past. Not necessarily blow past, but people could really work. And you're losing size because Lillard is Drew Holiday was a decent size. He was more, stout as far as he was a really good defender.
Yeah.
And he could score. There were times where he put up significant points as needed. But points was not the issue for Milwaukee. They are a very, very good team. And I think the combination of players, you have Brook Lopez that's 7'7", that can take out and shooting 3-pointers. You got old Crazy Eyes. I mean, they got players on their team. They didn't need they did not need Lillard to put them over the top. Now, I think it's a knee-jerk reaction. And of course, when your superstar player says you got to make good on your promise to be competitive, championship bound, that a knee-jerk reaction is to grab the best available player on the market, and that's what they did. So it makes sense from a standpoint. But as long as you got Thanasis and Thessalonian on that team, that means you're not. Those are spots that you need to move. If you could get minimal players and get those brothers off that team.
Giannis wasn't hearing that though, D. That's the thing. You got to understand the brass in Milwaukee. When your star player tells you, you better make a move or I'm out, I'm not resigning, then you're under pressure. That's it. So, you could try to, Holiday's a really good defender. He could still help us to win. Giannis ain't trying to hear that. Because Middleton is broken down. He's not that player anymore that you alluded to that helped them win the championship in 2021. He's not that player anymore. Giannis says, I need another star. I need a star on this team. That's what I need. That's essentially what he was saying.
So we found Drew dropped 40 on the Knicks. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally he'll drop some numbers. I mean, but he's not. He ain't busting the stats.
But you don't need
scoring.
40
That's not his thing.
You don't need 40 a night from him.
But
and they're going to find out you don't need 35 a night from Dame Lillard, because when you have that, it's Dame Lillard coming to Milwaukee takes the pressure off Giannis having to dribble the ball up and down the court. He can get lobs. Dame will set him up.
A lot easier, right?
And of course it will.
Well, that makes sense then, right? I mean, and then you still got big bodies there with Portis and Lopez, to your point. You got, defensively, they haven't fallen off interior-wise. And you're going to need that in the playoffs. You're going to need bodies. When you're playing against bigger body guys, you got, Randall likes to shoot, half-court threes all the time, so he ain't even in the post. But, but if you think about it, right, if you've got Embiid down low, right, you're going to be able to
Embiid's going to be at the top of the key trying to.
Well, he likes to shoot. Yeah, that's true too. So really, the only really guy you're talking about, if they were to get to the finals, it would be maybe if. But even still, you got Denver and LA who got big bodies down low, and so you're going to have to play against.
Don't talk about LA. They got swept. If you're building a team to compete with Denver, right? The question is this: is Milwaukee suited to beat Denver as currently constructed? I say no.
Say that one more time. What was your question? One more time.
Every team should be trying to make improvements to beat or who they think is standing in their way of winning the championship. Do you think that Milwaukee is suited to beat Denver as the improvements with the addition of Dame Lillard? Are they constructed to beat Denver? I say no. What do you say?
I think they are. I mean, you can't deny a scorer like Dame Lillard, bro. Like, that's points that they don't get. Middleton is not giving them that. They don't have a consistent scorer. So you need another scorer to put up against Denver, right? Because you got, even though he didn't have a great series, but, you got Porter Jr., obviously you got Murray, who can create and do a lot of stuff there, right? He puts pressure on you in the ball, and then Jokic is Jokic, right? They lost Brown. He's not there anymore, so they lost a little something defensively as well. So, I mean, it all kind of levels out to some degree, and I think you just gotta, I think they are a better team. There's no way, D, you can tell us that Milwaukee is not a better team.
They got better scoring wise, but they are a better scoring team. Granted, no question about it. They were already in the top in the East anyway. They were already going to be one of the top 3 teams in the East anyway. So I guess the rich get richer in that sense, but I don't think it moved the needle to the point where if it was about getting out of the East, you already had a great shot of getting out of the East. It's about winning the championship. And so I don't think with the moves that the Lakers have made, Denver already having that chemistry and being in place, I don't think that the Warriors, depending on the pieces they add, I don't think that the move that they made is that much better that it's like, this is automatic. This is not a KD going to the Warriors trade where it's automatic. Like, are they going to win 70 games? They're going to win 69. They're going to win. What are they going to win? It's not the same kind. It's not the Lakers. I mean,
no,
it's not.
I don't think anybody.
LeBron going to Miami, not 4, not 5, not 6. It's not an automatic that they're going to win a championship.
No, it's
not. My point.
Okay. Also, you're saying if you're going to trade for Damian Lillard, then you should be automatically head and shoulders above everybody else.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's too much parity in the league right now. Like when your boy did his sucker move and went to Golden State.
Why are we talking about that?
There was nobody head and shoulders with them. They only did that to beat one guy only. It was LeBron. Did it work? It worked, but that's what I'm saying. But you don't have that landscape anymore. You got teams now that you got to be better than, not just one player.
So they have
dominated an entire conference, huh?
So Milwaukee has a big 2. They don't have a big 3, and they're facing a lot of teams that have big 3s.
I think they got a big 3. You
just said Middleton. You said Middleton was
was
ready for the glue factory.
But you said he was going to be Chris Bosh.
Yeah,
Bosh was part of a
but
big
this
3.
was taking LeBron in his prime at his apex. This was also D Wade knowing how to win.
Giannis is in his prime. Giannis is not in his. Oh, you talking about KD? You talking about Chris Middleton? Middleton,
right? You said you have a glue factory in Middleton.
He just can't stay healthy.
And Dame Lillard, who is an aging player that is still scoring, that wasted a lot of time in Portland. He should have just swallowed his pride and said, you know what? Winning a championship, this is what it's about. Let me go ahead and make a move and get on out of here. Because it was a drastic change in his opinion or the way he saw things from one moment to the next. He was like, I don't care about chasing rings. Then all of a sudden, I got to get out of here. I don't want young players around me. I got to get out of here. I got to win a championship. But we'll see. Time will tell. NBA season is right around the corner.
Right around the corner, man. Can't wait to see Austin Reeves.
Did you buy his sneakers?
No.
Exactly. It's terrible. Okay, and I want to see a little more Austin. I want to see a little more.
Does anybody on the Nets have a team? Does anybody in the Brooklyn Nets have a shoe? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna see. You know what? We ain't even gonna go there. Yeah, it was a sucker move. It was listen. B, stay with us, bro.
Are you a Warriors fan?
Please stay with us, B, because
if Brian is a Warriors fan, you would not have those 2 championships you would have 2 championships, right? But KD was the catalyst to get those other 2. He went to the team, became the best player, won the finals MVP, won the 2 championships. We can't take that away. How can we take everything else away from you say that you can't take the fact that Wade already had championships before LeBron got there, right?
Yeah.
LeBron needed another great player, right? He needed another great player to join him with the Lakers. He sent everybody out. Thank you.
Oh, Dinwiddie. Are you wearing it right now? Are you wearing Dinwiddie shoes?
I do.
Right now?
Actually,
you got them on.
I cut the back off.
I cut the back off and made them house shoes. Show them the Dinwiddie shoe. Trash.
Yeah, but if let's see. If your boy has a shoe made in Yugoslavia, what does it matter? Nobody's buying those shoes.
Listen. The point is that your boy KD and Brian is his name. That's your boy. It's your boy Brian. Yeah. Is that Brian? Brian, listen. Keep watching the show, bro. And I'm gonna tell you by 10 games into the season, as you watch this show, you're gonna be like, you know what? KD is not what I thought he is. Is Brian a Golden State fan? Is he a Warriors fan?
Are you a Golden State fan, Brian?
Yeah, let us know what fan you are, Brian.
I think he is. I think he is.
Is he really? Oh,
Thank you. Dinwiddie would give Reeves 30 easy. Of course he would. I think Dinwiddie went to college.
Nah, Dinwiddie's a good player. I'm not gonna knock Dinwiddie. No, I like Dinwiddie.
I'm not a huge fan of his, honestly.
No,
I would have been okay with him getting traded, but that's okay. In the comparison of those two, he would eat Reeves up. Let's move on real quick because we're way behind.
Dinwiddie ain't got no defense though, so Dinwiddie Reeves will put Reeves. Yo, y'all stop playing, America. We're gonna talk a lot of Austin Reeves this year. Trust me.
Real quick, let's move on to the Cowboys. We got a little football to talk about. Let's talk about the Cowboys versus the Pats. I'm going to give you my quick take. I think
we'll make this quick. Go ahead.
The Cowboys are a 7.5 point favorite. They had better right the ship, and I expect them to. I expect, although Zeke is going to get off, I think Zeke is going to score at least a touchdown. At least
he'll get a touchdown. I'll give him a touchdown.
At least a touchdown, maybe two, because Bill Belichick, I think he would like it to rub in the Cowboys' face that someone that you discarded, I'm going to take, and someone else's trash is my team's treasure. If they get close in the goal line and Stevenson doesn't punch it in, they will definitely give it to Zeke for Zeke to punch it in, just to say, hey, it'll be a little revenge. He'll have a little extra juice to actually get back at the Cowboys. But I think ultimately the Cowboys will cover. They'll win. I think it'll probably be like
what's the spread on that game? I didn't see.
It's 7 points. I think they'll win 27-14. 27-14. They'll definitely cover the 7 points. I do think that if they don't win, it's big problems. It's going to be it's going to be
hoping for that. Hoping for that.
I don't hope for it. But if they don't, and you lose to Mac Jones, and you lose to Arizona last week, and you follow that up with Mac Jones, whose offense efficiency as a team is subpar. Now, we're going to see, I think Bill Belichick's going to take the ball out of Mac Jones' hand, and he's going to pound with Stevenson and Zeke Elliott, and we'll see if the Cowboys can really stop a run defense or a running team, because they're going to try to slow the clock, have long drives, try to have Dak on the bench. I do think Dak is going to throw another pick. I think that the Patriots defense is opportunistic, and I think that they're going to force him into another pick. And I think ultimately they'll win. What do you say?
No, I think Dallas should have a better showing. I'm still concerned offensively because now, Tyron Smith is out. So, like I said, he just really needs to retire. He really does. He really does. He's like Bakari over in Green Bay. They can't stay healthy. All pro guys. Smith is a Hall of Famer, but he needs to go. We'll have to put Tyler Smith at left tackle, who is really, really good. In fact, he was one of the top rated offensive linemen last week, and he played left guard. But Dallas really drafted him to play left tackle to replace Tyrone Smith. Tyrone Smith. Tyron to replace Tyron. Tyler is to replace Tyron. Okay. So now we got Udoga. Udoga is I think they're going to end up still pushing him to the outside. Udoga settled down, but he didn't play well at all in that first half, but he settled down. I'm concerned about the line. Questionable to play is still Zach Martin and Biotish our center. I'm concerned. So I'm hoping that these guys can play. If they can play, Dallas should be good. If they play with 20, Dallas should win 27-10. If they don't play, Dallas only wins maybe, it's going to probably be 19-10. That's it. 19-10. I don't see our offense doing a lot. And we're going to have to take shots down the middle of the field. I know they're going to probably play two high coverage the same way that they played in Arizona, although, and then the thing is, you're playing a greater defensive mind in Belichick. So offensively, I'm concerned for the Cowboys. I really am. I'm concerned for the Cowboys because offensively, we've got to be able to do a lot more. But if you don't have your guys, if you're missing 3 starters on your offensive line, it's going to be hard. You can't get those plays to develop, those routes to develop if you ain't got the time to throw. Although we only gave up 2 sacks with a bad offensive line, and with all, with everything that's being said, the line didn't play actually all that bad, But at the end of the day, you're playing against even a better defense, because the Cardinals defense is not great. That's what really makes that loss so bad, because they didn't have a great defense. But this defense right here with New England is a very good defense. Okay, so Judon and them boys, they coming. And so we got to make sure that we can be able to uphold. So I hope that Zach can play, our Hall of Fame right guard, and also Biotic, our very formidable, very, very good, solid center, is able to play. Without those two guys, to me, that's where it's all going to be, right there in the trenches. But I see Dallas winning either 19 to 20 to 10. But if we got Zach and we got Biotic, we win 27-10. I do think we're going to definitely redeem ourselves from last week in that defensive performance that we played. We definitely coming. Mac Jones ain't beating us. That ain't gonna happen. So nah, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Truth said Pat spot 3. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh,
I
that would be something. That would be something.
That would be something. You know what I'm saying? If that happens in Truth, you can come take my spot on Monday, man. You and DJ talk about it. All right.
Right, because he will not show up. If Cowboys lose, it's over. I'll say this. Right. Also, KD, I will thank you for saying that, Brian. KD and Kyrie both had, really high selling shoes on the Nets. But let's move on. The Niners. Let's talk about the Niners and the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals just gave y'all work last week. I'm glad they got their upset game out of their system. Now, what I don't care for, it's a divisional game. We are 14-point favorites. I don't care for that. I think that is Debo's hurt. He may not play.
Okay.
We got Ayuk back, which is great. He's on my fantasy team, so I'm looking forward to Ayuk balling out. Okay. I think the Cardinals are a decent team. They're scrappy. Everyone's not automatically, now that Caleb said he's not going to go to just any and every team, because Caleb, I think he makes something like $8 million in NIL, and it might go up to $10 million next year. He's not pressed to go to a bad situation. Right. And so I think the ownership in Arizona is terrible. So that it's not a destination that people might want to go to. I still like to say being a 14-point favorite is not ideal. I do see probably a backdoor cover at some point. I do think that we'll win by double digits. I just don't know about 14 points. As far as the one thing I'm looking for is for Elijah Mitchell to now, in these games, these winnable games, like we're looking towards next week, not looking past them, but looking towards next week's where we want CMC to be at his peak performance when we play the Cowboys. You get what I'm saying? So get Elijah more into it. Establish a big lead and really just start to just grind out the clock. If I was the 49ers, if I was Kyle Shanahan, I would preserve my great players. Give Debo if he's iffy, give him that rest that he needs. I think we have enough to beat Arizona. And once again, this is not college. We don't need style points. We don't need to beat a team by 5 touchdowns. We don't need any of that. Just win the game, come out healthy, and then move on to next week. What do you say?
This game is it's a waste of a telecast. It's a waste of just anything that the NFL could offer. The 49ers will win by like 200. And what makes the loss last week, a lot of people didn't mention this, but they had 7 starters out last week, the Cardinals, that is, okay, on defense. And Dallas still couldn't fare well in the red zone. The 49ers are going to win this game. I know it's a divisional game, and divisional opponents tend to play harder and tougher, and there's more pride, and they kind of understand each other, right? They know each other, right? But they're not going to do. Listen, all they're going to do is look at film, which I'm sure they have, okay? And because of the creativity of Kyle Shanahan, okay, and the unimaginativeness, if there's such a word, of McCarthy and those guys, being afraid to throw down the middle of the field and everything like that because the way the defense is playing. No adjustments did Dallas make at all. Okay, but this game, Kyle Shanahan is going to definitely, he's going to have them. He's going to have these dudes in the blender. No question about it. So Cardinals, look, they're a decent team. You know what I'm trying to say? Their quarterback, who I actually I like their quarterback. Dallas struggled against him too last year when we barely beat Tennessee in the last game of the season when he played, and they didn't even have their starters in that game, Tennessee, because they rested their players for the playoffs. And they still almost beat us. So the quarterback, I can't remember his name now. All of a sudden, the physics, the astronaut science guy with NASA and everything. But he's good. He's good. But but they're not gonna. This game is not gonna happen. The only team that can beat the 49ers is the Dallas Cowboys. That's right. I said it. The only team. We are the team that stands in your way, and you're the team that stands in our way. The only team that will beat not the Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys. We're the only team that can beat you, okay? And we're going to prove it the week after next. I think we should do a show every day of next week after this week 4. We need to do a show every day, every hour. We need to break down that game from every point, every iota,
didactically
and expositionally break the game down. You know what I'm saying? To just break down the exegetical scriptures of the 49ers and Cowboys and be able to talk about that game.
Right.
That's going to be the game. Listen, that's the only team that can match up with y'all, D. I don't care. It's us. Arizona, I don't care. They got a big win over Dallas. Give them credit. I'm glad we got that L out the way. But
you don't think Miami? You don't think Miami is the team in the AFC as far as high-powered offense versus a high-powered defense?
No.
With us, I think that would be an exciting game to see.
What in a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think that'd be exciting.
What, Miami? Miami's got a lot of offense, but I still don't think their they got a good defense, but I still don't think their defense is like there's some holes in that defense. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Corey,
they're just smothered because of that offense. Yeah.
Corey, don't get excited. 70 points last week. You guys looked amazing last year. Amazing.
Yeah, they did.
Amazing last year till you met the 49ers. And then your whole season went to you lost 3 in a row after that.
Yeah.
So
they did.
Don't get excited. You guys look good. A good measuring stick in your division is playing Buffalo in Buffalo. So that's going to be exciting. If you get through that, which I really don't think you will, I do pick Buffalo to handle them. Even though Poyer is out, I do think that they will. I think they're going to get to Tua. They're going to get to him. And so I do think that they're going to lose, but I just wanted to put that out there that Miami looks like world beaters because they put up 70 points on a terrible, dysfunctional team. I think the 49ers and the Cowboys game is going to be must-see TV. I'm super excited about that. That should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Lots of fun.
So do you have a score for the 49ers? I think we'll win by 10 points. I don't really see us beating them by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I say 33-14, somewhere in there. Yeah,
okay.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, somewhere in there. And Truth, we coming for your Eagles. Dak owns your Eagles, Truth. All right, just so you know. Dak owns your Eagles. He owns your Eagles. You barely beat us last year with Cooper Rush as our backup. All right.
I'm sure Bob was talking all week, but Bob got like 3 teams, right? Isn't he a Giants fan?
Oh man.
He
one of those?
Yeah, you can't have like 5 teams. Like sometimes people get jerseys for, they want a certain fit, right? You need a color scheme. I can kind of see that, but when we talk sports, you got to have your team, and win or lose, you got to stick with it. But to have multiple teams and fallback teams and auxiliary teams, your credibility as a sports fan kind of gets diminished. But real quick, let's talk about a huge boxing match tonight.
What's good?
Charlo versus Alvarez. Now, this is, Charlo is moving up to fight Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has had some success. I'll be real quick with this. Canelo Alvarez is too big to fail. He will not lose. I'm not saying he's, at this point in his career, a better fighter, but I think for the pride of boxing, what he has been to boxing, I think that they will not allow him to lose, whether it goes to decision, whether he's able to knock out Charlo. I think he will, even if it goes to a decision. If it goes to a decision, even more so, because Alvarez is putting up significant belts for this fight. So I think ultimately, I do like Canelo Alvarez. It should be a good boxing match. We'll see what happens. What do you say?
Well, I'll be honest, America. I told my co-host here, my brother Don, that I'm not really a boxing guy. My boxing era, is Tyson, it's Sugar Ray Leonard, it's Roberto Duran and
Rocky
Marciano, Jack Johnson from the early 1900s. That was my era. So listen, but it's my understanding it's gonna be a really good fight. I'm with you with that on D with Alvarez, right? Is that who you going with?
I'm going with Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, Canelo. I hear a lot about him. You know what I'm saying? And so I would go ahead and go with them. I am going to try to check the fight out though. So it is 7-0 for USC right now. They just punted it back to Colorado. Colorado's got the ball, and
Brian's a Raiders fan. Brian's a Raiders fan.
Brian's a Raider fan.
Yeah, it's the trash Raiders.
Oh man,
you got to get rid of the coach. You got to get rid of the coach. The coach, all he could ever be is a offensive coordinator with a MVP or a Hall of Fame quarterback. We haven't seen him outside of that.
In Denver.
Yeah. He's not a great evaluator of players. I mean, he thought Tebow was someone special. He's gotten opportunities because of the success that the Patriots have had. He doesn't really deserve it. He was able to pick, choose, and refuse jobs. Take a job and then kind of at the last minute, I think with the Colts, he told them he didn't want the job, and they still. So when do you learn? He's not a great head coach.
No,
I think he's riding on a lot with just the success and the proximity of success. And I'll say this, not a lot of the coaches coming under Belichick have been successful.
None of them hardly ever. None of them.
Unlike Walsh, right?
Because he didn't give him the cheat book.
49ers also. 49ers coaching tree is amazing.
It's I will give you that.
It's one of the best coaching trees ever. And so I just wanted to slip that 49er trivia.
I don't know if it was better. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Bill Walsh may have come under the Landry tree to Tom Landry, because Tom Landry has one of the greatest coaching trees ever. In fact, it was Coach Landry. Vince Lombardi got his entire defensive scheme, from Tom Landry when they were both assistants with the Giants. Okay, Tom did defense, he did offense. And then Tom Landry invented the shotgun that we see today. All right, just so you know, motion offense, that's all started by the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. We were innovators of the flex defense, which we now see in multiple schemes today, of the 4-3 and the 46. All that stuff was derived out of the defensive and offensive schemes of Tom Landry. And the coaching tree, I want to say your boy is under there, but I like Bill Walsh. I'm not going to lie. I like Bill Walsh. I think he's really great. He's really great.
Y'all barely beat us with Minshew. Huh, that's interesting. They did barely beat y'all with Minshew. I guess you barely beat the Eagles with Minshew. Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. It was a shootout in that game. It was a shootout in that game. Yeah. Minshew wasn't bad. I mean, he's better than, I think, I don't know. Cooper Rush is still more consistent to me. But Gardner Minshew isn't a bad player. I mean, he's a star. He was a starter at one point in his league. So,
So do you think, at what point will you really think that the Cowboys, or will you admit that the Cowboys aren't them boys? Like, at what point will it be like, you know what? Mm-hmm. This season may not be our season. Kellen Moore, come on back. Because all I could see after every commercial was CeeDee Lamb throwing his hair up in the air and looking at just in defeat. That's all I could see.
That was only one time. That's all you saw.
I mean, they
CeeDee
showed
didn't
it
play
over
good in
and
that
over.
game either last week. He should have went up, should have high pointed that ball.
Is he a number one receiver?
CD? Yeah, I believe he is. Yes, he is. We rocked out last year. CD rocked last year. Bro, stop playing.
This year. What did he do
we
this
only
year?
had 4 games in the season, and we haven't really played. He rocked out in the Jet game. He had a lot of catches in the Jet game.
Let me ask you a question now, and we're going to close out. This is a simple question, and it's not a crazy one. Is he better than Brandon Ayuk?
Who, CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah. Is he?
Yes.
Come on now. Let's be serious.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Are you trying to say you think Brandon Ayuk is better than CeeDee Lamb? Are you crazy?
Well, let's see how. So is Dak better than Brock Purdy?
Yes, he is.
Okay, cool. So, and is CeeDee Lamb the number 1 receiver?
Yes, he is. Right now, he is. Yes, he is.
Okay,
he was
no,
last
right
year.
now. We're talking, right now, yeah.
He
That's
is right now.
we're talking. No, the next month.
He is.
So, Brandon Ayuk. So you got the Dak is better than Purdy, and CeeDee Lamb is better than Ayuk, right? Because arguably, is Ayuk our number 1 receiver? It may go back and forth between him and Debo, right? But because Debo is used in so many ways, he may not be our number 1 receiver. But I think slowly but surely, Ayuk is our number 1 receiver. We will see what happens when we play each other.
Well, right now, he's got 19 receptions for 273. He just don't have a touchdown yet. He had 11 catches against the Jets. You know what I'm saying?
So why are we talking about the Jets? The Jets
got a good defense. Jets don't have a good defense. Jets ain't got a good defense. That's good defense. Let me see what Brandon Ayuk has done. Let's see his stats. See what his stats are. Now I know he missed the game. Okay, he's got 11 receptions. Okay. And how many he's got 2 touchdowns that he scored against the Steelers.
How many yards?
172.
Okay, so far with missing a game, who's doing better?
I mean, it's almost somewhat comparable because he missed the game. You know what I'm saying? Because Ayuk missed the game. So we'll see at the end of the year. But Brandon Ayuk is not on. Is Brandon Ayuk going to get paid the money CeeDee Lamb is going to get for the Cowboys? No, he's not. So how is he better?
So pay determines that?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You mean to tell me pay doesn't matter? You don't think CeeDee Lamb is going to get a $100 million contract? I mean, I don't know what's going to be guaranteed, but he's going to get big money. He's going to get at least 20, 25 million a year.
So
easily.
Dak.
Brandon Ayuk is replaceable. He's a system guy. He's system guy. Put him in the Colts. Put him in Chicago. Nothing for him. Nothing for him. He's not going to win. He's not going to play well. He's a good player, but he's system. He gets listen. Kyle Shanahan is all system.
Is Dak's pay as a quarterback on par with what his output and his performance?
I would say so, because at the end of the day, D, think about it. How many quarterbacks aside? Let's put aside Patrick Mahomes. Okay, if you think about it. What is Dak? Dak is on par with most of these other guys in terms of, in terms of his winning percentage, his career stats up to this point with the eight years he's been in the league. Okay, now he doesn't have
Hurts just got paid, right? He just got paid, right? Yeah. Was Dak better than Hurts when Hurts was making? Hurts is getting a handsome paycheck.
He was better than him. Yeah, he was. But Hurts is a good player. Hurts is good. He had one good year.
Who would you rather have? Who would you rather have?
Between Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott?
Currently, since I have
honestly, I would have to say Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Because of the ability what he had, because he can run. Because he can run.
Yeah, Dak stinks. You're right. Absolutely. Dak stinks.
Dak don't stink. Dak is a top 10 quarterback. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't think he's not in the level of obviously Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers.
He's definitely not top 10. And if you say he's not Aaron Rodgers,
I don't think
Aaron Rodgers' Achilles is on a sling somewhere, that says all you need to know. Aaron Rodgers is laid up somewhere. Every interview with McAfee, he's laying like this and walking.
I don't think
he's not as good as Dak.
Dak is not. No, Dak is nowhere near Aaron Rodgers, whether he's healthy or not.
And he's not top 50. He's not top 10, by the way. I can come up with 10 quarterbacks.
He would be in the bottom half of that 10. Because he's not better than Herbert or Joe Burrow, I don't think. I don't think he is. I think he's better than Tua.
Yeah, look at him. He don't even look like he's a top 10. You saw how he was looking?
I think he's what? You know, he is a top 10, but the bottom half. But he's better. He's
10
not
in
better than
USFL.
Burrow and Herbert. These are the quarterbacks that are better than Dak. It would be Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar Jackson. Maybe Deshaun Watson. But outside of that, then that's it, right? I don't think he's better than. I think he's better than Tua. What quarterback in the NFC in general is better than Dak? If you really want to look at it, Purdy is still a system guy. I'm gonna give it to him on the system. He's got a great, and he's got a great. He walked into a great situation, but he is a good quarterback. Purdy is top 10, I believe. Who in the
How many people gonna be top 10?
Justin Fields. I gave you. Which goes driving the ball here, Colorado. But D. Purdy is a top 10 quarterback in the league. Only because the NFC has no quarterbacks. Think about it. Daniel Jones is not better than Dak. Howell is not better than Dak. Kirk Cousins, I don't think, is better than Dak. Might be equal, if anything, but he ain't better than Dak. I don't think Russell Wilson, at this point of his career right now, Russell Wilson is not that dude right now anymore.
What about Geno?
I don't think so. Who?
Geno?
No. I don't think he's better than Dak. I don't think Geno's better than Dak. I don't even think what's his name with the Saints now that came from the Raiders. I don't think he's better than Dak.
Derek Carr.
I think he's on par with. He's a good quarterback, but he's not better than Dak. I don't think he's better than Dak. What? What are you laughing at?
He got 12 players in that top 10. Right, exactly.
He got 12. All right, I'll tell you what. Okay, let's you know what, America, real quick before we go. We got a minute. Real quick. Okay.
I'm gonna give you the 10 players that I have above Dak. Okay, so we got.
These are the only players I'm saying above Dak. And whatever order they're in, it's gonna be Burrow. It's gonna be what's his name from the Chargers?
That's
Burrow, Chargers. Lamar. Now again, we're not talking about Pat Mahomes. There's Pat Mahomes and everybody else. Okay.
No. We're not removing him.
Okay.
You're trying to put him to get that 10th spot. Get out of here. No, yo, that's ridiculous.
Right. Thank you, Brian. Because Carr is not better than that. So you got Mahomes, Burrow, the dude from why can't they get the Chargers quarterback? Y'all help us out there, America. Who's the quarterback from the Chargers? Jesus, I'm going to Herbert. Thank you. Justin Herbert. Lamar. I don't even want to say what's his name from Cleveland. I just think he's a better talented quarterback. He's more talented. But we could probably, Jesus, Watson. That's it. Those are the only guys that are better than him. Only guys that are better than Dak is Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, and maybe Watts. Oh, and what's his name in Buffalo? My bad.
Allen. Tua.
Allen. No, Tua's
so
not better.
So I got
than
1, 2,
who
3,
you got?
4, 5,
I got
6,
1, 2,
7,
3,
8,
4, 5, 6. I got 6 quarterbacks better.
So I got Mahomes, Hurts, no particular order. Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar, Jackson, Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. Hello, Justin Herbert, Watson, Allen, Tua, and I have one more. I think Purdy. Purdy is better than him. I think Purdy is
not better than Dak Prescott yet. He ain't done enough. He ain't even play a full year yet.
This is not a lifetime achievement. This is.
But you got to put it in context, though. You got to go by the. Listen, D. Purdy is a really good. He's a good quarterback.
What's his record? What's his record against Dak?
He's 1-0 against Dak. So what? That doesn't mean anything. But we just talking about who's a better quarterback. You can't say Purdy is better than. Is Purdy better than Hurts?
No.
Okay. So you're gonna take you.
I said he's number 10.
He's better than Dak, and Dak has broken all kind of records and has all kind of and been a Pro Bowler and everything. I can't say that for Purdy because Purdy hasn't played enough, so we can't make that comparison.
We're talking right now.
All right, we're talking right now. We talking right now.
Thank you. Purdy is better.
Let me see. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right.
So and honestly,
and that's the 10th best quarterback. Then here's my. I'm gonna give you my 10.
And can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
Honestly, the way he's playing right now, Kirk Cousins is better than Dak. Kirk Cousins is on. No. Kirk Cousins.
Listen, we can't. Okay, when we say right now, we're not talking about week 4 of this year's NFL season. We got to say, like, in the context of the quarterbacks that are playing good football within, like, say within the last couple of years, right? Like, these guys are guys that are.
Because if that's the case, let's talk about Tom Brady. If we're talking the last couple of years, Tom Brady was playing better. Like, we're talking right now since week 1 through week 4.
For this year only. For this year only.
Cousins is balling out.
Joe Burrow ain't playing great. Joe Burrow's completely.
Joe Burrow has an injury. 50%. He has an injury.
Is he playing? Oh, when Dak was playing with injury, with a bad shoulder, bad elbow, okay, coming off the calf, he didn't get none of those excuses. Now Burrow gets excuses. Why Burrow gets excuses?
We're talking about this year.
This year he ain't playing. Burrow's playing bad this year.
He is, but he's playing
bad.
But is he better than Dak?
No, you can't say that. We're talking this year. You just said this year, week 4 of this season. He is having he's having a horrible season right now. If that's the case, a lot of these quarterbacks may not even be on here. If that's the case, you could probably name a couple
Last
of good
year,
quarterbacks. In that case, Tua is better than everybody right now.
Arguably, is Matt Stafford playing better than Dak then so far this year? I say yes.
But that's why I'm saying.
Without a number 1 receiver. Without his number 1 receiver. You have CeeDee Lamb. He doesn't have Cooper Kupp, and he's playing better than Dak. I mean, Dak is not a top 10.
D, let me tell you something, D. Out of the last, let's just say this. Over the last 3 years, right? Let's just rank the top 10 quarterbacks over the last 3 years. Right? If you're going to rank those last 3 quarterbacks, I would have to say Mahomes. And this is in no particular order per se. We don't have the time to really break all through this, but you got Mahomes, you got Burrow, you got Herbert, you got Lamar, you got Watson, because you still got to keep into account what he did in Houston. Allen, Hurts, who really just had one good year over the last 3. Remember, they was going to move on from him. Okay, Hurts was not, again, he just had one good year, and kudos to him because he's improved his game.
So then you got to
he is showing what he is from last year too. So he's still playing at a good level.
If you're backdating it for 5 years, you got to put Jimmy G on there. He's better than Dak based on winning percentage.
He is not better than Dak. But oh my God, you know what?
But Dak, what has he? If you're backdating it 3 years, Jimmy G's winning percentage, the fact that he's been able to make it to deep in the playoffs, NFC Championship games, that means something.
Okay.
So that's why we can't backdate it 3 years.
D, if you're gonna look at I'm just trying to find a better stat.
Something that skews in your. Like, I just got to find something that just says.
No.
Jack has more commercials than anybody. He's top 10 in commercials.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to find a better reading of the stats. Okay. So when we look at Dak's NFL career, right? Let me see his career stats. All right. Right now, for his career, Dak has completed 66% of his passes for his career. Okay, which is very good. That's very good. How much is it? He got 66.6% of his passes he's completed. That's his completing percentage. Okay, his quarterback rating is at 97. Okay, all right. He's got 25,000 yards. Okay, and this is to date. 25,000 yards.
Career stats.
Okay, right. Okay, but even if you look, but what I'm trying to say, D, if you're gonna look at, but that's what I'm saying. You got too many younger quarterbacks. Dak is in his 8th season right now. Okay, but you have to go by somewhat of projection. You got to go by what body of work has been done. Burrow is in this because he got his team to a Super Bowl, right? Herbert is a good quarterback because we just know based off the eye test, like he's clearly a good quarterback and he's a franchise quarterback. Tua is playing good now. He's got weapons, but Tua, and he was playing really good last year before the concussion. So you can put Tua in the conversations.
Yeah. It's several.
Several what? Concussions, right?
Yeah,
exactly. But to me, I think it's there's still a lot. to be determined, because you can't just say you going by Dak. Everybody wants to grade Dak based on what they last seen. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's right. He's got 166. He's got 169 touchdown passes to only 66 interceptions. You see what I'm saying? So that's a 2-to-1 ratio of that's what everybody last year. Oh, he had all those interceptions last year. He threw all them interceptions last year. But Dak in 2016, he threw 4 interceptions. 2017, he threw 13. Then he had 8, 11, 4, 10, 15 last year, and he's got 1 so far this year.
So that's an average of about what a year? That's an average of about 10 or 11 a year?
Maybe 10, maybe 8 to 10 a year, somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but he threw 169 touchdowns so far in his career.
And so that's Scrap brings up a good point. That year, Dak had all those yards. Dallas played from behind the majority of the season, and a lot of it.
What year was that? What year was that? In 2020, when we had bad defenses. Yeah,
Shannon Sharp would say it's a lot of empty calories. That playing from behind.
That was only 1 year when our defense was trash. That was when we had your boy from San Francisco. That Mike McCarthy brought in. I can't remember his name. That offensive coordinator, Mike Nolan. The trash. Okay, we had Mike Nolan. He was trash. We had historically the worst defense ever in the NFL in 2020. And Dak only played 5 games in that year, because remember he broke his ankle that year. And then in 2020 we came back, and that's when we got
So the interceptions could potentially be higher if he had played more games.
In that 5 game, he only had 4 interceptions. So he's averaging an interception a game that
year. Exactly. In that 5
games, D, how many
touchdowns?
But how many interceptions? But you got to look at the ratio, though, D. Okay, the ratio. When he had in his first year 23-4, 22-13, 22-8, 30-11, 9-4. That was a short season.
Can we real quick? And we got to go.
We got to go. We really do.
Can we look at Kirk Cousins' stats? And I'll make the case. I'll make a case that Kirk Cousins is actually better than. Just since you want to go with statistics, I think Kirk Cousins is actually better. His percentage is higher.
Kirk Cousins is he's a stat. Now Kirk Cousins has been in the league. Now we got to go with games where he started. Now he's been in the league since 2012. But he didn't start until 2015. Okay, so now we're gonna go from 15, because in 2012 he only played 3 games. He started 3 games. Okay, 1 game actually. He only played in 3 games. All right. 2013 he only played in 5 games. 2014 he only played in 6 games. He started 5 of those. So we're not gonna count those. We're gonna let him live on those. All right. That'll let you know he so he wasn't started the first 3 years. Now from 15 to 22, right now he's completed 66% of his passes. He's got 38,000 yards. Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
He has 12,000 more yards than Dak Prescott.
But remember, Dak had a running game. Remember. Now he had Dalvin Cook too, Kirk Cousins. But Dak gotta remember now, let's put it in perspective. Dak was a 4th round draft pick, came in, and there was a lot of, but I'm saying, but Dak had an elite running game with Zeke Elliott.
That was RG3's team.
Right, but what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, he didn't have a running game, so he was throwing the ball a lot. In fact, that first year in Washington, when he started, he threw for 4,100 yards. He had 29 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. He had a 101 passer rating in his first season as a starter. Okay, but the offense was centered around him. For the first few years in Dallas, Dak was not the centerpiece of that offense. It was Zeke Elliott. So that's all I'm saying. And how many interceptions he got? He got 107 interceptions to 261 touchdowns. He has a 91 rating in quarterback rating, which is no better than Dak. Dak is at 99. What was Dak? Dak was at 97. So it ain't much difference. Okay. And then you got so his ratio is not that much higher as far as his interception and touchdown ratio is worse than Dak's. And I don't think he's in let's see.
So So Dak is not really. So arguably, if it's that close, it's just a matter of preference and what a person's looking for. So Kirk Cousins could be ahead of Dak in some people's rankings. Is that safe to say?
It could be, depending upon the rankings. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be very honest.
38,000 yards is 38,000 yards.
Yeah, it is. But see, when we do that with Dak, though, but see, that's what I'm saying. Everybody gives everybody else a pass when it comes to their stats. But with Dak, everybody makes up an excuse. Now it's just 38,000. No matter what, if he threw it in the backyard to his kids, those counts as yards.
I didn't even bring it up. That's why I was saying you don't have to give, lifetime achievement. You brought up to this date, Dak has 25,000 yards. I didn't even introduce. I was just talking about this year. You brought in
this year, Dak. All right, let me tell you what Dak is doing this year. He's completed 67% of his passes, which is very good. He's got 647 passing yards. Okay, he's got 3 TDs to 1 interception, and his longest throw was 49 yards. Dak is not playing bad.
Kirk Cousins is annihilating him. Look at his stats this year. He's on. Yes. He's projected to throw for. No, give it to me.
But we blew out 2 teams the first game of the season. What was Dak supposed to do? Well, I mean, we didn't need. It was.
So you don't want to read it? Are you refusing to read what his stats are?
Okay. He's got 96 completions. Out of 137 attempts, he's got completed 70% of his passes.
Okay, so that's better. Check.
Okay, 1,075. Okay,
check.
19
400 yards more. Okay.
Check. But he's 0-3. He's 0-3. So that means for something. They got to count for something. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be throwing up stats. Any quarterback can throw up a lot of stats. We're
talking the quarterback position. Given the defense, given the defense that the Cowboys have played, because we've already said that the Cowboys' success is based on the defense, not on Dak. So maybe what Dallas needs to do is see if Kirk Cousins, who's in his last year, wouldn't mind putting a star in his helmet and becoming a Dallas Cowboy, because your success, because Kurt is a better quarterback, he's playing better. The team overall it's not equating to wins, but he's playing better than Dak is.
He is. Kurt is playing good football,
and he has a true number one receiver, a real number one receiver.
But when we say the top 10 quarterbacks, D, we're not talking about the first 3 games of the season. Like, I'm talking about, like, when we're talking about like in and I don't know how to describe it, but like when you say the top players in the NBA, right? You're not talking about the guy who put up 45 points last night. Now all of a sudden he gets way into that conversation. We're talking about just over the quarterbacks that are considered to be good. Their teams are winning. And they're really good quarterbacks. Like within this, who's playing now? Not Tom Brady. Okay, we talking about guys who are playing right now, who we know are playing. They're the franchise quarterbacks of their teams, and they will be projected to continue to be that face of that team from the quarterback position for the next 5 to 10 years. And that's one. So you got to put the Burrows and the Hurts and the Herberts and the Lamars and. Because that's what these guys are. You know what I'm trying to say? Purdy, at the end of the day, I'm not taking that away from Purdy. He's played well. But Purdy, we can't put him in the top 10 yet because he hasn't done anything yet. I mean, he hasn't played enough. We don't even know. Purdy, can insert somebody in there. You can put you and me in there come next week, and we'll still win that game. It's a system situation there with why you think won so many games? Well, he won a lot of games. Because he was in a system. Garoppolo. That's all it was. He was in a good system. Okay. Kyle Shanahan is a good coach. It's just that Garoppolo can't win the big games. That's all it was. Anybody could come in there and win some games. Look, D, tell me the truth. Are y'all winning because of Purdy? Are you winning because of Purdy?
He's a factor, sure.
He's a factor. He's a factor. Yeah. He's a factor.
He's not your proverbial bus rider. He's actually he handles the offense really well. He's not dinking and dunking. He's not throwing. He is actually driving the ball down the field, to be honest. And Colorado is about to potentially get smoked out of this game.
It's looking bad.
The only thing that still looks alive is the under. But because Colorado may not score any points. But we'll see. It's still early. It's the end of the first quarter.
Very quickly, I know we're getting ready to pull out of here. So Purdy has completed 67% of his passes so far.
That's better than Dak. Okay. I didn't want to bring that up, but
Dak had 66%. Just a percentile more. I mean, just a
percentile more. Is it more?
And he's got 736 yards, so he's got a little bit more yards than Dak, which is barely under 100. Okay, and he's got 4 TDs to no interceptions.
Okay,
so it's all relative. It's all
how many games they lost?
Comparable.
How many games they lost?
Oh, now you want to go by games. Oh, see, you see what I'm saying? But you didn't say
I'm
that
just
for Kirk
wondering.
Cousins. Who's 0-3? You didn't say nothing about Kirk Cousins, though. Who's 0-3? Now we want to talk about wins. But it's okay. I understand. And, Dak, people hate Dak. I'm not a Dak apologist. Dak is I think, is a good quarterback. I do think he's in the top 10 of the quarterbacks that play in the league today. Are franchise quarterbacks. I think he is a top 10 quarterback. But, he is. But I don't think you're going to get any more than what we got out of Dak. Dak has reached, to me, he's reached his ceiling. I don't think you're going to get any more out of Dak than what you get. So, I don't think so. I really don't think so. So, I don't know. I'd be shocked but we don't have no other option, D. Where we going? We ain't got no other option. Who we going to take? No other option.
You got Trey Lance.
Not going to happen. And Trey Lance, who just didn't get an opportunity to really play because of his injuries, but he didn't look good in the 2 games he started, I guess, or whatever it was when he had the opportunity to start. He looked bad. So I don't even know. There's nothing they could have done with him. So if he ain't going to win in Kyle Shanahan's offense, he definitely ain't winning in Mike McCarthy's. So it ain't going to happen.
I agree with that.
It's a wrap.
Dak is too big to fail for you guys. I think he just has it worked out. And it's about timing. So when he becomes available, the market, there won't be anybody out unless you guys and Cowboys fans don't want to hear rebuilding or starting unless you can't. You're not in a position where your team would be bad enough to get a Caleb or Shador or anybody. Because this is a good quarterback class. But at the end of the day, you still have to pay Dak. So if you get a quarterback to
we can let Dak go. Actually, Dak really, because his guaranteed money is up. Everything is up. Like, this is the year Dak has to play because either Dallas is going to extend his contract after this year or they're not. Dak, they could actually walk away from Dak.
And that's cool, but what are you going to replace him with?
That's the point.
That's a rebuild. That's why he has you guys over a barrel, a proverbial
he does,
barrel.
But that's every team. But D, that's almost every team. What other team can, when you talk about the mediocre of the franchise quarterbacks that are in the top, maybe from 6 on down, that's everybody, right? Where you gonna, like the Giants, Daniel Jones, where they gonna go? Right now, although they're not in a rebuilding situation, they need a lot of work anyway. So maybe starting over from Daniel Jones may not even be a bad idea per se.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? But at the end of the day, it's like where you gonna really kind of go, right? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of teams, I think, maybe be in that situation. But Dallas by far the worst of those teams because you're right. We have a championship defense and we got very good skilled players and it's still a very good offensive line. So, yeah, if the quarterback situation don't work out, we would be almost in a rebuild situation from the quarterback position. And a lot of these guys ain't going to go for that. You know what I'm trying to say? So, Micah and CD and them, they, it's not going to work, So, well, anyway, boy.
Well, listen, thanks for joining us today. Once again, shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music.
Yes.
Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production. 21 Zip, USC. They're smoking them in the first quarter. So once again, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. Thanks for everyone for the comments. Scrap, Brian, Pastor Chris, everybody who chipped in and had some comments based on what we were discussing. Please, once again, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. Any questions, comments, anything you want us to discuss, please leave a comment. We appreciate it. Until next time,